AskReddit by not Alan Jackson. So, who ruined Christmas morning and how did they do it? Not my Christmas ruined, but my friend's. Her parents left home to stay in Florida. They were supposed to come back for Thanksgiving. They did not come back. Her parents were supposed to come back yesterday, Christmas Eve, to spend time with their kids. They did not. Her parents left her, 17, her sister, an adult but legally blind, and her grandmother, who literally just had a stroke and is in the hospital, alone. No financial support, the only person bringing in money is her. She couldn't even celebrate Christmas with her family, just her sister. For the past few nights my family has invited her to dinner to help out. I feel so bad for her. No teenage girl should have to go through such stressful events without the support of her parents during Christmas. Tell your friend to call the police and CPS. She is still a minor and they abandoned her. Grandparents told everyone how they get one person something really nice each year and that it was finally my turn. They gave me the really nice big green egg and patio desk I was saving for. Then after they looked real nice to everyone and everyone else was gone, they told me it was actually a loan and I would need to pay them to keep it. I told them to fuck off. Holy crap. They pretended they bought it as a gift but you have to pay them? That's some bullshit there. Proud of you for telling them to F off. Have they done the same thing to everyone else or just you? My mom invited my nephew that molested my daughter and told us we could leave if we couldn't just get over it. It happened 5 months ago and he's still in a court-ordered program for juveniles. In her mind I ruined her family by turning this more loved grandchild into the police. My husband is a probation officer for these kids. It's most likely a probation violation for him to be there with his victim. Make a call. Grandma forgot where she hid the presents. Haven't found them yet. Are they meowing under the tree? I gave my little girl a drone. It went up in the air the first time and just kept going and going and going. That was like 8 hours ago. Could still be going. Gotta set the home point before sending it out, otherwise the moment it loses connection it will try to return to the factory in China. The drunk asshole that was joyriding last night and totaled my car in a hit and run did a good job of ruining my day. I'm glad you are okay. Drove 4 hours to spend the day with my dad, at his request 3 weeks ago, then immediately after lunch, not even dinner, he said he and his new girlfriend, of 4 weeks, were invited to a friend's dinner and were going there. My drive was longer than the time he spent with me at his house. So now I'm watching Christmas movies and drinking with my grandma instead. After trying fix our relationship that's been rocky since I was a teenager, now in my 30s, it's great to realize he truly doesn't care. Sounds like you're absolved from making an effort in the future. You did everything you could. My brother by existing. My family flew into Paris from one country, he flew in from another, and had a complete mental breakdown because no one came to the airport to escort him to our Airbnb and ordered him an Uber instead. He proceeded to scream and abuse my parents, stating that they abandoned him and left him to fend for himself in the wild unknown at his CDG airport. He then threatened to leave immediately and refused to leave his room, not even to eat, as a form of protest for my parents being so horrible to him. He is 35 years old, and my parents bought his tickets and this trip is on their dime entirely. I thought you were going to type one of the synopses from the Home Alone series. My stepmom physically attacked me on Christmas last year, so I decided to skip the family get together and stay home alone this year. It has definitely been better than last year, but I'm still salty. Waffle House rules dictate you should come back for round 2 after training and bulking up. If you are from the South. I ruined Christmas. I went to my partner's Christmas gathering for the first time. I'm an immigrant with a very different cultural background, but they were all very friendly and welcoming. They suggested playing bingo, but with no money. Sounds good to me. Then the family matriarch wanted in and wanted everyone to do 50 cents a card. A-okay, whatever. I didn't want to play with money but too awkward to say no. I did good and bad. Started with $10, but before the final card I hit about $5. All good. Then they wanted to do a full blackout game with $2 a card. I was trying to be polite and only play one card, but the patriarch was sitting next to me and told me to do 2 cards. I did 2 cards. I was 1 spot from winning, and he picked up my card and cleared off my markers. Awkward as hell. Then they called my last spot and I won the whole prize. About $60. Very clearly some sore losers, and it was super awkward for the rest of Christmas lol. Feo, you deserve that money. My mom. Screaming at and in front of everyone, including the kids and my elderly grandmother who came out of hospital this morning, that she doesn't want to be a full-time carer for my grandmother. No one asked her to care for my grandma. For the past few years mom has been asking grandma for her inheritance early so she could buy a house. Grandma always said no. Mom moved in with grandma a month ago and now wants grandma to move out so mom can live in the house alone rent-free. Where grandma is supposed to go is beyond me as mom has refused to participate in plans for a care home etc because it will likely involve selling the house to pay for this. I feel like you should contact some sort of adult protective services to make sure your mother doesn't do anything to your grandmother. Me halfway through opening gifts with the family, I was in enormous pain. Wound up spending most of the day in the ER. Kidney stones. I could have done without this gift surprise. Do you have the stone? Make it a Christmas ornament. We had a pipe burst on Christmas Eve last year. I hung a string through the section of pipe they cut out and put it on the tree. I think I did by realizing I can have a great Christmas by not going home and spending it with friends. I did this exact same thing. Had a panic attack before the 6-hour drive to my parents on the 23rd and bailed. My housemate offered to have me at his family's Christmas, which another friend was also coming to. It was an hour's drive and in the town I went to university and so we hung out with friends on Christmas Eve then had a brilliant Christmas day. His parents went the extra mile for me and got me a stocking and even a small gift. Best Christmas I've had in a while. My sister brought her dog who immediately walked over and threw up all over my kid's presents as if he'd been planning to do that all year. Sorry but compared to everything else in this thread I just chuckled so hard lol I can see it perfectly. Whole fam is sick and I start a medical treatment soon that will completely nuke my immune system. It's used in some chemotherapy regimen, so no one is coming over today. Edit. It's for a kidney condition that has become resistant to treatment by steroids after 6 or 7 years. Thanks for the concern. I feel ya there. My immune system has also been obliterated by medications. I'm usually fine as long as no one's sick but my cell showed up with actual pneumonia today. Can't wait for that to come on. Fortunately I've had a pneumonia vaccine but there's no way I get out of this unscathed. Well my father has been in the ICU for the last 6 days, so the kids and I and my mom went to the hospital. He was in a bad car accident 10 days ago. No one is in the mood for Christmas this year. I'm so sorry. I hope he recovers quickly, and I'm certain it meant the world to him that you all were there. My mom was a week away from her last cancer treatment towards the end of July when my dad fell and snapped his neck, so he's been in ICU then spinal rehab ever since. My mom and my husband, brother, niece, nephew loaded up and drove the 4.5 hours to go see dad for Christmas today. Not much of a Christmas but it absolutely did mean the world to my parents that we all went. Sometimes Christmas just sucks but you still make the most of it for those who need it the most. My dog was acting weird last night around 11:30 by 2 AM he was in surgery for bloat. Big guy is going to be fine but man it was not the Christmas I had planned. Bloat is scary, I'm glad y'all caught it. Hope he recovers fast. My brother, 45, hit the neighbor, 30-ish, head on last night in front of the house, killing them both. The neighbor left a pregnant wife and a 3-year-old. Pretty surreal Christmas. This is some heavy stuff. Wow. So sorry. My in-laws ruined it by showing up at my house. What's the difference between in-laws and outlaws? Outlaws are wanted. My 25-year-old cousin freaked out because she thought she got less presents from our 90-year-old grandparents. She made her mom and our grandma cry. Mother-in-law. Constant negativity and hateful comments. It's exhausting. Gotta love my mother-in-law's constant comments about a Chinese person's accent while I am sitting right in front of her. She knows my family immigrated from China. I don't know what she hopes to get from her comments. Mom got hammered Christmas Eve and woke up for a midnight snack of the Christmas dinner. Left it all out and the dog ate it all. I bet her dog had the best Christmas ever. My mom told everyone that there's not going to be any more babies in the family anyway, so my sister can throw away my son's crib. I am actively trying to get pregnant and have been taking steps and working on my health to make it happen, as I had cervical cancer last year and a few other uterine issues. And for those wondering, yes, she and everyone else in the room is aware of all of this. That's horrible. If it means anything, a random stranger has their fingers crossed for you. Brother-in-law 12:06 AM. Breakfast casserole knocked out of the fridge and all over the floor as he was reaching for another midnight snack. 6 minutes flat. Impressive. My cat of 16 years died this morning in his sleep. Didn't tell my 7-year-old son because of Christmas. He is sleeping over his grandmother's house tonight and we are going to tell him tomorrow. We are devastated losing a family member, and I am dreading telling the poor kid. My cat, who was my best friend since freshman year of high school, died last Christmas Eve at the age of 21. I went to the shelter I got him from and donated $40. I tried to tell the story to the clerk, but I just ended up sobbing. I'm sorry for your loss. You are not alone.